And slowly open the eyes.
You talk a lot about knowing ourselves.
Yeah.
But what is to know myself? What aspects or what I should do and what is...
So when we start to unify, we start to become present. And when we start to become present, we start to watch ourselves. You know, before we're so automatic, we don't even know what we do. We have an idea of who we are. Like if someone asks you, that you give them a list. I'm like this. And it's always a fantasy. It's an idea in our heads. And that includes the aspects that we consider good and bad. You know, it's just this idea. And when we start to heal, we start to see what is us and what is our conditioning. And we start to perceive ourselves clearly. And we start to choose what brings us happiness and peace and what takes us into suffering. And we start to acknowledge all the aspects. I know every aspect of myself. I know everything. And I don't judge anything. And everything that doesn't serve, I let go of. But when I see it externally, because I know myself intimately, I don't have a judgment because I just see me everywhere. And because of that, I have the clarity to give. And you will find that too. You know, it's like what I say to you guys. This doesn't have a structure. It doesn't have a tradition. You can only share your experience. And that is to know self. This is my experience. When I did that, or when I felt that, or when I was getting lost in that. And you just give from that place. Yeah, and that's to know self. Intimately. You know, ultimately, the ultimate self is silence. It's beyond everything. It's even beyond the heart. It's just pure consciousness, witnessing. But initially, we go through all these different processes. And the lack of judgment allows us to be liberated from expectation and to be eternally patient. You know, I say I have no tolerance for patience, but I'm like the most patient person I know because I can repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat. For 21 years I've been repeating. You know, but it's natural. It's not something I'm doing going, oh God, the same question. Yeah, because consciousness is like that. It just gives. And it's not conscious of a past moment. You know, every moment's new. And that's to know yourself as well.
In this time, unifying, doing the facets. Is curious with my mind because I came believing nothing. It's not fighting with my mind. The process of unification. I'm not fighting with my mind at all. And it's curious because it continues happening. That I get angry, I have memories, and I say, praise love, and that's it. I was. So, about the facets, how come? I don't know if I want to understand or I want to continue just feeling.
Well, the most important thing is you keep feeling, no? But the facets vibrate in a very high frequency. And the moment you think it, it nullifies the intellect. It causes a perfect coherency. Because always the brain's fighting, no? The hemispheres are fighting. But the facet, it's just for one instant, takes you straight into your heart. And praise, love and gratitude are nature. That's what the world is. That's what everything is. That unity, that love, that perfection, that flow, that surrender. So the facets are reality. We live in chaos. Humans, we live in chaos. Everything else lives in perfect harmony. Why do we live in chaos? Because we live here. We live here. So yes.
But why the fight in between head and heart if I myself that?
Because this is duality. This is your human experience. And this is your divinity. This is your immortal unity. This is a character. This is like a play. This is reality. So when you surrender to the reality, you flow with reality.
2 months ago, it died one of my best friends in an accident, in a car accident. We were going to present a show together, and we had been rehearsing for 2 years that show. So really it was an experience beyond. It was my friend. It was very shocking in every aspect. And I could see 2 things that you are telling me since 15 years ago, that everything can change in a second, and that everything what we is this instant. This is only thing that exists. And I want to know if you can talk a bit more about the grieving of something so tragic and how to move through.
Everyone knows my story, no? That I lost 6 people in 6 months. I lost everything in 6 months. And it was the most shocking thing. It was like unbelievable. But I was a person that was extremely attached. Attached to everything. To order, to what I had, to what I loved, to my country, to all of these things. And when I lost everything, I swear it was the best thing that happened to me. Because it gave me this immense freedom. If people leave, it's because it's time for them to leave. And that, on some level, is a gift for you. It's a gift of evolution. Because you embrace them internally and you become more of that. And I know it sounds cold, but from a spiritual point of view, it's a very real experience. Because as I matured, I would see I was those people. Everything that had come to me was within me, and they'd never left. It's like I became more of me through embracing them. So how do you let go of that? You just have to feel. You have to feel and feel and feel and feel until the thought brings you joy. And it's, you know, it's a hard thing. People lose parents, they lose children, they lose marriages. But life is like that. And at some point, because you have the capacity to flow, you start to experience freedom in your life. And it also shows you that you're unlimited, that you can make a new choice, that you can do something different. Because when tragedies happen, you think, well, that's it. Especially in like this situation. You're about to do a show and one of the principals are gone. You have to move beyond. You have to move beyond. Yeah, but it's a shake, I know.
I want to know what happens when there is conflict in families. That, for example, the two daughters are fighting constantly, then are at peace with each other, then angry again, and that affects me a lot. Because the little ones also get separated, the cousins, and I try to get them together, but my daughter says, stop fighting with that. If we get angry, we are going to fix it, it's none of your business. And will be a moment where we will fix it. And if we don't talk to each other for the rest of our life, it's okay too. But I want to know how I can separate that part in me, not to feel that sadness, because it hurts me a lot, that separation. I want to see everyone united.
I'm just having this vision of a chicken with all her chicks. And you're going like this, trying to get them all together. You have to let go. What are you trying to create? Oh, you want harmony. You want your family like a Buddhist temple. Is that what you want? Impossible. They're all having their own experience. They're all having their own conflicts, their own fun, playing the game, doing the play, and you want to direct the play. But they didn't employ you to do that. You're just insisting, I'm the director, but you're not. So you're looking for peace, but the peace has to come from you. You have to let go and just laugh, just watch, because así es la vida. Everyone's like that. The world's like that. It's immature. Everyone's fighting, defending their egos, but wanting to be right, wanting to be the best, wanting to win, wanting attention, wanting love. Life is like that. And you're looking at your mini world, and it's your responsibility to find that peace within you, not trying to change the outside. And that's why you came here, so you could find it. And it affects you because you think there's something wrong. And there's nothing wrong. They're just humans having a human experience. It's very normal. Very normal. So let go, mummy.
As I go cultivating my experience of love consciousness, I feel rejection with my mom many times because she lives in the chaos of her mind, in the complaining without appreciating anything. She's not responsible for her own life. I love her completely, but I feel rejection with that. So I want to ask you, how can I go towards that separation with her?
Okay. So this is probably the most important question of your life. So you need to listen. You must love your mother unconditionally. without any judgment, because she is you. And that aspect of you that you're negating, you have to heal until you let go of the judgment. She won't change. Only you can change. So how do you do that? Firstly, you need to witness yourself, because you will see the same essence, the same behaviours within yourself. And you have to start loving those parts. Because remember how you were. You're very intellectual, like you were very structured, and now you're starting to change. And the easiest way to do that is when you're talking to your mother and she starts with her negativity and her judgments and her criticism and her this and her that, you just anchor in consciousness and surrender. You don't have to try to change her. You just love her exactly as she is. And then that tension will leave. You know, why is it affecting you? Because you have an expectation. There's millions of other people like that. And I'm sure they don't affect you. But you feel judged. You want your mother's approval. And there's a part where you don't feel approved. And only you can heal that. It's not that so much that you don't approve of her. You feel criticised. Because I'm sure a lot of her negativity is criticising you too. So just love it. Just embrace it. You know, once you heal the relationship with your parents or with yourself, once you heal it with yourself, automatically your parents change completely.
How is in the other side? This side of enlightenment.
It's great. It's so good. You know, consciousness is the greatest thing. If you said to me, I had to give up everything, the only thing I wouldn't let go of is my consciousness. Because it's the most freeing thing that exists. The fear's gone. It's gone. To live without fear, to live in love, it's how every human should live. To live without judgment, that's how every human should live. That's what I want for all humans. To wake up and live in unity. Yeah, it's great. But it's not another side. It's every side. You're welcome.
How can you do? I thought I forgave her. And you said that the parents are part of us. But if one of those parents hurt you so deeply, and I was with her when she died. For many years, no, because she didn't want to see me, and I respected that. But she looked for me, and we were at peace, and I thought that everything was all right. But now here I'm discovering that it wasn't. I want to heal it. But I don't want to be part of her.
Too late, honey. You know what? You've got to let go of the judgment. And how do you do that? You do it energetically. Because this will come up and you have to go and express. And you express and express and express and express, and as all this rubbish leaves, you will start to experience love. And that's all. And when you think of your mother, you won't have this resentment. Because you're still resented. This idea, oh, I forgave her. You know, there's nothing to forgive. Because you're saying she did something wrong. And in reality, people do the best they can do. Good, bad, whatever. That's what they do. And that's not a justification for you to love her. You need to do it for you. Because that resentment, it's like poison. But then you create your mother everywhere. You'll give birth to your mother. You'll go out with your mother. Your boss will be your mother. Your mother will be everywhere until you heal that. Okay, so you just have to move. And it's such a beautiful feeling. You know, my mother, very complicated woman, very complicated, very negative, very powerful, very controlling, very victim, a multitude of things, always trying to keep me small, blah, 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 blah. When she died, I just loved her unconditionally. And the same was coming from her. It was a beautiful relationship. But she was not an easy woman. Not easy at all. And she did lots of things. But I healed it all. And then I could see, because the thing is, if there's something traumatic, we always focus on that. It's like nothing else existed, just that. And that you have to heal, because she didn't do anything wrong. Yeah, so you have to find, and that's what creates the illusion of fear. That's what creates the illusion of fear. You know, I think of Annie's mother too. Annie's mother, when Annie was young, was a monster. Really, a monster. The things her mother did were like that sweet old lady. Yeah, she wasn't like that when she was young. And they had a beautiful relationship of so much love. Yeah. So you have to heal it. These are examples.
Servilism and service. That is what it's asking. What's the difference in between?
Okay, so one comes from joy, comes from consciousness, comes from abundance, and the other one comes from a place of inferiority and looking for approval.
Can you talk about sexuality? Sex from need or sex from love?
I think it's about the intimacy, no? Like if you are doing it from a place of love, you're doing it from a place of giving. You know, and it's an intimate situation. And the two people disappear. They become one in that. You know, if you're doing it from a place of taking, it's where you're dominating, or you're fantasizing, or you're just using a situation for a release. Okay, that's completely different. One comes from addiction and one comes from unconditional love. They're very different things. I'm not saying any are bad, but that's how it is. You know, lots of people have sex with a multitude of people because they have an idea in their head, a fantasy in their head. But when it's coming from love, it's a very clear intimacy and a clarity and a giving with the person you're with, and you sort of meld into one. In the other way, it's in your head.
Come visit our webpage for books, movies, and our wonderful retreat centers. Isha's simple yet powerful system is transforming lives around the world.